Here's the first English review, consumer review of the Marshall Woburn. Not some shit that's in Russian or somebody trying to sell it to you. I'm a end user consumer. I actually bought this on my own. I'll tell you everything I know about it. First of all, I've owned a ton of different speakers, and this is the loudest, most powerful Bluetooth speaker. It is not battery powered in any way, shape, or form. It is about 90 watts RMS, 200 watt peak. And I'll show you the some of the features you have here. 5 1/4 inch, two 5 1/4 inch woofers, 25 watts a piece, 50 watts total. And then you have the tweeters, and these are 20 watts. So 20, 40, and then 50. So we got 90 watts. So peak consumption is 200 watts. RMS value is about 90. I like that it has a ton of inputs. It has Bluetooth with aptX, which is a better protocol. It connects faster. It's got way lower latency and better quality. It's got optical. It's great if you have a television, an Apple TV, or whatever. It's pure digital going in. You got RCA input. This is great. I mean, that's common with every VCR, DVD, or whatever, or any DJ mixer, or whatever. 3.5 millimeter, and it goes over to 1 inch dome tweeter and 5 1/4 inch woofers. On the top, you get the typical switch. I'll show you the actual top of it. Now, I have to be honest, I bought this at Best Buy, and I did have a problem. On the bottom here, I'm going to show my whole serial number. It was, the first one was like a small serial number. It was very short. And I had some popping noises occasionally during certain tracks, and I couldn't prove it. Marshall doesn't have a phone number to contact, but they do have a chat session, and I've been emailing them back and forth, and they've been like great trying to help me. I sent them a YouTube video, and I said, listen, this needs to go back. So took it back to Best Buy, put it on the table, and it was completely dead. I mean, it didn't work. But what I noticed was some popping noises. You have to be aware of the gain staging when you're using your phone or iPad or whatever. You don't want to crank the volume all the way up on the volume because you're overdriving the signal. But even so, I'm going to play some sample tracks here. We're recording an iPhone SE in an apartment, small, maybe 13 by 10 concrete wall building. It's obviously on the floor. I'm using royalty-free music, so YouTube, you can shove it up your ass. I'm tired of you pulling my videos down. I'm not making any money on this, so why do you keep pulling me down? I don't know. So we have Spotify here, and we'll just pick some random stuff. Before I go into that, I'll show you the different, you have Bluetooth optical input 1, input 2. You have a bass, volume, and treble. Okay, and source, wake, pair, and your retro on-off switch, which I like. On the back, by the way, there's a switch here, and that's a power save mode. If you put it in power save mode, every time you turn it on, you need to hit the wake button. That's a European thing. Apparently over there, they're concerned about power, so they mandated that it has this feature, and it's on by default. Well, it's no big deal. You just flip the switch. So it consumes more power for me, but at least it's ready to go every time. I've noticed no problems with the pairing. It has paired up my phone. It could be in an off state, and I just flip the switch on the top, and boom, it immediately connects. Unlike certain ones, you have to go into the Bluetooth and pick it up. It depends on your phone. I have to tell you, I've owned a lot of speakers. This is the Onyx Studio 3s. You literally need 2 Onyx Studio 3s to equal. Hang on a second here. You need 2 of these to equal 1 Woburn. Now, these are passive radiators. These are sealed. There's 2 passive radiators. I think there's 1 on the front and 1 on the back, and then 2 tweeters. These cut down massively in power when you're on battery, 50%. So they need to be plugged in to do a fair comparison. They do pair up wirelessly, but there's a significant delay. It's using aptX, and it's not stereo. For whatever reason, they can't get stereo, so you got mono, and you can separate them. Great, they sound great, but the Woburn goes down to 35 hertz. And I listen to drum and bass music. Don't ask me why, but I do. So that low end kicker bass is what I was looking for, and these did it. But like I said, there's a new king in town. Now, another thing I need to tell you. Again, like I said, I own a ton of different speakers. To a point, this was the king. This is the Beats by Dre, no longer made. This was like a $400 speaker at the time. It does have two, you can't see it because it's too dark. But it does have two 5 1/4 inch woofers and two 1-inch tweeters, or maybe half-inch tweeters, whatever it is. This speaker is, again, not battery powered. This speaker, I don't know how to explain it, but this speaker caught my attention because it is a sealed enclosure. Any audiophile will tell you that you have two types of enclosures. You have bass reflex, and you have which is ported, and you have a sealed enclosure. This is sealed. There's no holes in it at all. So the speakers are in a box that it's working, to move the air with nothing on the back end. So it actually has to work harder. The amplifier has to be stronger in order to make the speaker move. On the Woburn, so the sound coming out of this is just a handle. The sound coming out of this is way purer than any other speaker out there. And it seems like the industry's moving toward bass reflex. Now, bass reflex, if I can get this turned around for you. Bass reflex is just a port, is pretty much what it is. And it's a port for each speaker. So you can put a lower wattage amplifier, and the air goes through and this is to the back of the speaker. So in other words, the air comes in and out, and then on the front you have the speaker. So it can move the air more efficiently. However, in doing that, you now have a port. You have a port that's tuned. And Bose does this. Bose does this a lot with their speakers. They're all bass reflex. They have this little tiny box, and it's like, how the hell is all that bass coming out of that box? Bass reflex. Although Bose goes a little bit further. They have like a rat maze in there, and like a wave guide, and they even tune the port itself so it's shaped so the air doesn't make noise going in and out. So what I'm trying to say is, you will get more bass out of the Woburn or any other bass reflex type speaker, but you have a tuning port. In other words, the enclosure is tuned to a specific frequency. So you're not going to get 100% accuracy if this is not a studio monitor. But it is one hell of a speaker. One thing I did wish it had, it's heavy, which is understandable. I wish it had a handle, but it doesn't. That's okay. Guess they don't want you carting it around. It looks like the typical guitar amp type of thing here. I don't think it's going to have a problem. They have it in white and they have it in brown. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a demo. I don't care about the neighbors right now because it's late enough. They should be up by now. I'm going to turn the volume on the iPad to the max, and then you'll see how far I can push the volume up before it's like, oh, whoa, you don't want to push it any further than that. So my point is, you need to do your gain staging properly. You want to, don't crank your phone all the way up. Maybe 3/4 of the way would probably be better. So this is, we're going to go through various types of music, and this is all royalty free, like I said, so you can shove it. I had never heard any of these songs. And the other thing I like is during the passages, you can actually turn the bass up and down. No other Bluetooth speaker has this, and so what that means is the volume's low, and you want a little more of a bass boost, that's fine. If you turn it up too loud and you want to duck it down a little bit, that's fine. Maybe a little more treble or whatever. This is infinitely useful. I don't understand why nobody else does it. You get a speaker, it's Bluetooth, and that's it. You're listening to it the way it is, unless you go and do it in the equalizer in the device. Well, this is pretty cool. Alright, so enough blabbing, and let's get to the demo. And we're going to start out, I'm not even going to give you the name of the title, Shazam it or something, because I'm going to go through a bunch of them. Just go to Spotify, search for royalty free, click on albums, and there's a whole crap load of them. First one will be, I think this is Electro House. Okay. Massive amount of bass. Oh, right there. About 5, I start hearing some popping. You have to be real careful not to blow up the speaker. Now the way to fix that is you want to turn your gain down probably ladies at Best Buy, and randomly it was popping like that every once in a while. It almost sounded like a blown speaker, but I couldn't get it to happen consistently. And it turned out that it was a defective unit. Make sure your serial number is a longer serial number, okay? If it's like that short, it's probably one of the new or older models, or I'm guessing, and I had the problem. The newer one is a lot longer, and I'm assuming this is the second generation or second production